Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to do part 2 of Magnified insects. So if you haven't done part 1 and you don't have this over here, you need to find the part 1 video and get caught up. And now we're ready to do part number 2. So we've drawn all these blades of grass here, looking down, looking from like the insect's point of view where they look kind of huge, like giant trees and stuff. And so we're going to add some color. We're going to do some shading. So if I have a really big piece here, then what I want to show you is how to add some shading to this grass to make the grass look kind of shiny. And so that's what we're going to do. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to color the grass. Okay? You can use more than one color if you want to on some of these, and I'll show that in a little bit. But that's a really light green, so let's do the darker green. Okay, and you can mix your colors together a little bit. So I'm going to start just by lightly coloring in the grass, but I'm going to leave the middle of it white. That's called a highlight. Okay, so when light shines on things, it reflects off of it a little bit, and the brightest part is called a highlight. And so we're going to shade this in a little bit, and we're going to leave just the thinnest area in the middle that's almost completely white. Okay, and then this is going to be a medium green here, and then on the outside edges we're going to push harder with our crayon. We're going to make it darker green on the outside edges. Okay, so I pushed a little harder and I've shaded in the edge with the dark green. So I have this darker green on the very outside edge, and then medium green next to that, and then lighter green next to that, and then pretty much white in the middle. And that's called a gradation, where it goes from lighter to darker, and it looks pretty cool. Makes the grass look a little bit more three-dimensional, so you can see that up close a little bit better. But it looks kind of cool from far back there too. And if you want to, you can mix in some other colors into it, so you can have like a little yellow green in there with your dark green. Okay, and that'll work. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to color in all of these blades of grass. So this is going to take you some time, and you can do more than one color, but if you really want it to look like it's all from the same yard, you should probably keep the same color scheme going on. So just pick one green and then do all of the grass the same. The edges are dark, then medium, then light. Okay, and if you want to add a little bit of other color in, then use the yellow green. So that's what that one would look like there. And of course this one is going to be a similar idea, except this one's been chomped through, and so I got to stop there where the insects have chewed through that piece of grass, and then I'm gonna color in all of those parts and leave that wider area for the highlight. Okay, and then we'll add a little yellow green on there as well. Okay, same thing here. We're going to do the darker green on the edges, the lighter green in the middle. It's green back here because even though the insect chewed through this part, what we see behind it is actually green grass. Okay, so we can do that. Most of those other ones will be similar. The only thing to know now is how to do this one that is the bent piece of grass that's been stepped on or folded over. Okay, so start by coloring the vertical part, the straight up and down part, the same way that you've done before with your white in the middle and your dark, okay, on the edges, and then add a little bit of yellow in there. Cool. And then on the top, you can do the same kind of thing. It works pretty good. Just leave a little bit of white there, and that still kind of works for what we're doing here. But underneath it, okay, where it's folded over, if you look at this one, if you look under here where it's folded, you can see there's a little shadow shape there where the fold is over. So we can show that by taking our darker green and shading that in there. And if you really wanted to show that a little bit, just very lightly add a little bit of black over, okay? And you could add that shadow. You could really add a little black to the edges of all of yours, and then that's how you would get an even darker green. Not just pushing harder, but adding some layers to the grass too, okay? So I'm gonna work on finishing up that grass here in a little bit, and then we'll come back and add some more color to the ground and the sky behind it. Okay, so you guys work on your grass. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. Look at that. Wow. Seems like I got that done really fast, but I actually worked on it for a while. So now I've got all the grass done. I've shaded in the shadows underneath the pieces that are folded, making everything look a little bit more three-dimensional, okay, kind of shiny. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add some color to the ground. So find yourself a brown crayon, okay, and we'll just call this the dirt down here. And when you color this in, I want you to go horizontally. So go side to side, and that'll make it look like it's ground, that it's flat, okay? So we'll go side to side there, and we can get that all taken out of there, okay? If you go up and down, it'll make things look like they're tall or vertical, which is what we did with the grass, but they are. The ground is horizontal, going side to side. And you notice that when I colored this, I'm not coloring it really dark, okay? I'm coloring it kind of lightly because I want to do something else here, which is kind of cool. I'm going to add some shadow to the ground. So I'm actually going to color darker underneath where the grass is, okay? So we would kind of think about the sunlight coming down from up on the top and casting a little bit of a shadow down on the ground. That's one way to think about it, okay? So depending on what the shape of the grass is, then the shadow will be larger or smaller. So this one's pretty thick because there's two pieces of grass there, and then this one will be a little thinner, okay? And if I really wanted to be close, I'd try to like leave the lighter piece here where that piece has been chewed, and leave that space showing a little bit more. So we'll see if we can pay attention to that. So then we'll shade a little bit of shadow here, and then look, this has three pieces of grass all the way across. And even though there's three pieces there, okay, it's probably all going to blend into one shadow, except for maybe this shape here, okay? So we might be able to leave a little space in between where that part of the grass didn't block the light, okay? It's not perfect, but you get the idea, okay? So we'll color darker. This one's all by itself. So we'll make that a little bit more. And you notice I didn't go up and down here either. I stayed side to side to help keep the grass looking horizontal. All right. So you get the idea. We've got that part in there. Okay. And then what you can do is grab a blue or something and add a little bit of blue to the sky in the background. Okay. I don't know if you'd really actually see the sky in this close-up view. You'd probably just be seeing more and more grass behind it. But I think it'll look a little cooler if we just go ahead and color in the sky. Now it's going to take a little bit of time because you got to color around your grass. You can't just put blue all over the top of your picture. So I'll spend a little bit of time coloring that in, and you do that too. I'm going to press pause, and I'll be back when I'm done. You can press pause, and then you can hit play again when you're done. Okay, we're back. Whew, man, are you tired yet? That's good work, okay? So we've got all this blue colored in. Notice I didn't push really hard on the blue either. I kind of kept it sort of light, okay, to get all that stuff colored in there. Looks pretty good, okay? The last thing we're going to do today is we're just going to add some color to our insects, okay? Not a lot of detail. If you want your ladybug to be red, add a little bit of red, okay? If you want your butterfly to be orange, add a little bit of orange. We can add some more detail, and we will in the next part. I'll show you how we're going to do that. But for now, just add what colors you need to the things that need some color, okay? Maybe a little purple caterpillar here, okay? And then the wings are probably white on there. I don't know if it's even possible to make this little bee look very yellow from where we're at, but that's okay. It's not that important, okay? I'll show you why. Because we've been talking about this project as being magnified insects, but insects have not been magnified yet. So that's part 3. So come back next time for part 3. You want to take a little break for a while, that's good. If you're ready to go on, it should be posted pretty soon. So you can check it out and finish up your project on part 3, magnified insects. All right, bye. See you later.